Over the last 4 decades, I've done golf course grow-ins, sports fields, lawn, putting green renovations as well. I can tell you good seed matters. Good soil to seed contact matters. Fertility, irrigation, timing all matter, but there's another part of successful overseeding, grow-in, and renovation projects that I think sometimes gets overlooked. To remove as much competition as possible for those new seedlings before they emerge. When turf seedlings come out of the ground, I don't want it competing with established weeds for sunlight, water, nutrients, or physical space. That's why I'm going to talk to you about today. And this video is sponsored by Atticus. From them, there's actually a herbicide with a post-emergent activity on many of the late summer weeds that you have in your lawn. But here's the big thing. It also is a pre-emergent herbicide that we can apply at the time we are seeding a lawn, preventing weeds from germinating and competing with your seedlings during overseeding the lawn and renovation projects. That herbicide is Torocity from Atticus. Torocity contains the active ingredient Mesotrione. Torocity is the generic Mesotrione product, only at a lower price point. I'm an agronomist, and when I'm considering options, I look at the active ingredient to know what I'm buying. Knowing the active ingredient gives you an advantage when selecting a product. It allows you to get past the marketing and get to what you need for the lawn. It's why I talk about active ingredients here on the channel. Identifying active ingredients makes you a better shopper for what you need for the lawn. Mesotrione gives us a very unusual opportunity when we're establishing cool season turf. Think about what we're doing when we're preparing the lawn for overseeding. We're opening up the soil. We're applying our seed, fertilizer, and we're intentionally keeping that upper part of the soil profile moist so our seed can germinate. We're trying to achieve the perfect environment for germination for our new superior varieties of the species we selected. But you're also providing an environment for weeds like Poa Annua to germinate as well. That's what makes Torocity so useful in a renovation project. I can put my grass seed down and apply Torocity the same day. That gives me a desirable grass an opportunity to establish while I'm also getting pre- and post-emergent activity against a potential list of weeds that might otherwise be trying to establish right alongside my new grass. The label also lists annual bluegrass for pre-emergent suppression. So that's an important distinction. Let's look at what's going on specifically with Poa Annua at the end of summer. As soil temperatures become declining, we're getting closer to the period when Poa Annua begins germinating from the hot summer months. So having a pre-emergent suppression during establishment is certainly something I'm interested in. I get many questions about Poa Annua control on the channel. In order to control a population of Poa Annua, you need to understand it, how it becomes such a large part of a lawn, using that information and forming effective strategies to control it. Late summer is the time to take measures to control the Poa Annua population in your lawn. The Poa is weak coming out of summer, heat, and drought stress. This is the time to attack it. Late summer and fall is when it begins to try to take back that lawn of yours. When soil temperatures reduce to 70 degrees, Poa Annua begins to germinate again about the same time you're doing your overseeding and renovation. This germination accelerates once when temperatures reach 65 degrees. An application of Torocity will suppress Poa Annua germination while your seeds are germinating, giving them an advantage over any returning Poa Annua to the lawn. As far as crabgrass in your lawn, after developing and putting out its seed over the summer, it's near its end of its life cycle. Crabgrass is weak and vulnerable to herbicide applications. Here are some of the examples of the applications I've made here in the last few weeks on crabgrass.
On the weeds that Torocity controls, you will get this whitening. That is the Mesotrione work. And to enhance this, you will definitely need to add the non-ionic surfactant. Now, it does say on the label, if you are applying in a broadcast application to a home lawn, you will get whitening on the lawn. This can be reduced by not adding the non-ionic surfactant when you are applying it to the lawn. However, I like to take advantage of that and add that surfactant in there so I can get good control of the weed species I'm going after.
Whitening on desirable species, I found goes away in about 7 to 10 days. Its whitening does not really matter to me. Why? I'm seeding the lawn anyway, introducing varieties of species I want to have in the lawn. So any setback of my existing lawn only puts those varieties at a stronger advantage to becoming a major part of my lawn. In my experience, this whitening of the desirable species is more prevalent in ryegrass than it is bluegrass or tall fescue. In fact, last year, this lawn, I wanted to convert it over strictly to tall fescue. So I went with the bluegrass tall fescue rate of Torocity. That put this lawn on track to having the best varieties of tall fescue that I can find. This leads me to rates. You will note on the label they provide application rates on an ounce per acre basis. Now, to make this easier, I'm going to give you these numbers on a per 1,000 square feet basis because that's more practical when looking at pesticide rates for managing turf. Atticus supplies a syringe with Torocity due to the small amount that is required per acre. Using the syringe is easy to measure the exact amount you need. When using products where the rate is less than an ounce per 1,000 square feet, a syringe is the best way to ensure that you're putting the correct amount in your sprayer. The syringe that Atticus supplies is really great. However, there is a big problem with it. I always lose mine. So I keep these syringes on hand. These allow me to get exactly what I need for 4-gallon backpack sprayer, both Torocity and the surfactant that you need for post-emergent control on the weeds that you have. Also, another tip is do a simple conversion from ounces or teaspoons to milliliters. It's really easy to dial in exactly what you need to add to your backpack sprayer. Using the metric system where everything is based on a factor of 10, this makes calculations much easier. Say I need 10 milliliters of a product per gallon. I want to mix up a half a gallon, that's 5 milliliters. 3/4 of a gallon, that's 7.5 milliliters, and so on. Using teaspoons and tablespoons for me is a pain in the neck, and I spend more time online trying to look up conversion and calculations. And there is a higher probability of error when at least I do this, so I try to avoid that. As far as rate for tall fescue and Kentucky bluegrass, we're looking at approximately 3.4 to 5.4 milliliters of Torocity per 1,000 square feet. That's approximately 0.11 to 0.18 fluid ounces. Perennial ryegrass is different. Now, this is important. As I said earlier, ryegrass is more sensitive to mesotrione. For perennial ryegrass, don't exceed 3.4 milliliters or 0.11 fluid ounces per 1,000 square feet. And pay attention if you have a mixture containing fine fescues in your lawn as well. You need to read the turf tolerance restrictions on the label and base your applications on the grasses you're actually growing in your lawn. Now, for me, I'm not a big fan of fine fescue, so it's another advantage of using Torocity for me. It really sets back fine fescue. I had some in this lawn when I started the channel. Using Torocity has reduced that population, and now in my 3rd year on the channel, these superior varieties of tall fescue, I have chosen to renovate this lawn way back in 2024, and my overseeding in 2025 have taken over the lawn now. This is my 2026 overseeding project here. I went out with Torocity early so I can start suppressing. Really, I want to get some of the ryegrass out of here, those inferior varieties of ryegrass that I had, and trying to get the Poa Annua out of here. You can see the darker splotches. That's the tall fescue holding on here and actually doing pretty well, handling this Torocity applications that I have done here. So here pretty soon, I'll be going to do my overseeding project in here. It's still a little early, but I wanted to do this to show you guys exactly what Torocity can do to a lawn when you're starting to apply it. Maybe a couple applications a bit earlier in your regime. By the way, you cannot exceed 16 ounces per acre per year. So if you use up that tall fescue bluegrass rate at 8 ounces per acre, and you do that twice here in the early fall, or really any time of year, you have to wait till the next calendar year at the end in that 12-month cycle. So that's all you can use. So do be aware of that whenever you're forming a program. that limits you. Plus, the most you can apply in a 14-day period is only 8 ounces per acre. There again, on ryegrass, that's reduced to 5 because it is sensitive. As you can see, there's a little bit of ryegrass in here to that torocity. So keep that in mind. Here I am in August of 2026, and I'm really happy with the results. It takes persistence, planning, using the right approach to get the results you want. Using torocity has been a big part of my plan. For those other observations I have, Mesotrione will also set back Bermudagrass in your lawn as well. For those of you in a transition zone, this is an added benefit. It does not distinguish this on the label, but for those of you in the transition zone, Mesotrione will also whiten Bermudagrass, severely weakening it just prior to dormancy. What I've observed, an application of Mesotrione and then the cold winter really reduces, if not eliminates, the population of Bermudagrass in a cool season grass lawn. If you look closely where I put it here last year on my backyard, you can see where I oversprayed my application and got a little bit on my Bermuda, which I have on the side and the front lawns. It turned white as a sheet. It's kind of cool. With any product on your grass species, you need to know your rate and understand the product before you spray it. There's another area where homeowners get confused with Mesotrione, and that's a surfactant. If I'm using Torocity as a pre-emergent application, at seeding only, I'm not adding the surfactant. You only need it for post-emergent control of your weeds. If I'm applying Torocity to actively growing weeds, then the label calls for a non-ionic surfactant, or NIS. And I want to emphasize that, non-ionic surfactant. I've seen online where folks say dishwashing detergent. Trying to save money or using an internet hack will get you into trouble. Too many hacks I've seen cost you later in having to follow up with another application, not getting the results you want, having to apply again, seeding again, or losing turf to save a few cents when a dishwashing detergent, or these folks think they can outsmart the label or something. I don't know what's going on. On spray volume, I talk about that in many of my videos. For those of you wanting more guidance on how to ensure you're getting out a gallon of spray volume per 1,000 square feet, I show you how to get that in my sprayer calibration video right here. You'll need 1 gallon of spray volume per 1,000 square feet. The label spot treat mixture works out approximately 1/2 a teaspoon of Torocity in 1.5 teaspoons of non-ionic surfactant per gallon. Or what I use, that's 2.5 milliliters of Torocity and 7.5 milliliters of a non-ionic surfactant per gallon of water. One of the characteristics that makes Mesotrione so recognizable, Mesotrione interferes with the plant's ability to produce carotenoid pigments. When these pigments, chlorophyll breaks down and susceptible to plants begin bleaching. That's why you get this very distinctive white appearance. And this can help you with spring seeding. If you're watching this in the spring, yep, spring seeding is possible and Torocity can be a huge part of that. I'll talk about that in this video to give you the complete formula for spring seeding the lawn. Weed control, the right seed fertilizer, and applying long-term pre-emergent summer weed control with Torocity, you typically get 3 to 4 weeks of pre-emergent activity. That's another weed that I think particularly is important in northern cool season grasses, creeping bentgrass. Bentgrass is fantastic growing where it's supposed to be growing. I spent years with it on golf courses, so I admit it's a little bit of a brain adjustment thinking about being a weed. Like Dr. Fike said, my crop science teacher at NC State, tall fescue on the lawn is turf. That same plant in the landscape bed is a weed. A patch of creeping bentgrass growing through your tall fescue or Kentucky bluegrass lawn is a weed. It can spread and become extremely noticeable. Torocity has a specific directions for creeping bentgrass and Nimblewill control. It's labeled at 5 ounce per acre equivalent or 3.4 milliliters per 1,000 square feet used with a non-ionic surfactant for post-emergent treatment. The label calls for repeat applications 2 to 3 week intervals with a maximum of 3 applications and specifically identifies late summer and early fall, just prior to new growth. That optimal timing. Now do keep in mind, you cannot apply Torocity to new seedlings until after the second mowing. You are totally fine with applications made anytime before seeding. But after seeding, you must wait until the second mowing per the label instruction. As far as extended weed control, after Torocity's 3 to 4 week interval, and this is kind of important, particularly for those of you who are seeding in the spring. Once I've gotten approximately 2 mowings out of tall fescue, Kentucky bluegrass, or perennial ryegrass, you can transition to a longer lasting pre-emergent herbicide. In new seedlings, the best one that I found is dithopyr, providing the particular dithopyr product I'm using is labeled for that timing, turf species, and use site. That is more important for you seeding, as I said, in the spring, but you using dithopyr after seeding, you can check out my spring seeding video. I will also leave the link to my literature cited in the description of this video in regards to dithopyr applications after seeding, so you understand why it's a safer pre-emergent herbicide to use at that time. Also, dithopyr suppresses Poa Annua as well. It is a part of my long-term management strategy for Poa Annua control. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comments. I'm always happy to help. So what all have we covered here? Seed, Torocity at seeding, then establishment. After the second mowing, we can maybe transition into a dithopyr product as your label allows, depending on the product. Now you've done something very different. Torocity got me through the period when I couldn't use any of our traditional longer residual pre-emergent herbicides without interfering or eliminating establishment. Once that new grass has matured significantly, I can transition to dithopyr and establish a long-term pre-emergent barrier. That's why I want you to start thinking about herbicides, not what's the best pre-emergent. That's the wrong question. The better question is, what is the right for what my lawn is doing right now? At seeding, Torocity gives me something most conventional pre-emergent herbicides don't. It allows me to establish cool season turf while simultaneously getting pre-emergent activity against susceptible weeds that can compete with those new seedlings. Once that grass becomes established, I can then transition into a longer lasting chemistry shown such as dithopyr when the label allows. That is a weed control program that is very different from simply throwing products on the lawn. Everything has a purpose, everything has a time, and everything has a rate. As I say in the channel, I want to help you become a turf manager, not just solving a problem with one product, forming a program that leads to success, and when seeding a turf area, Torocity is a big part of that plan. Any questions, there again, always put it in the comments. I'll try to get to those first thing I do each morning, part of my daily routine for you guys. I'm always happy to help. I'm agronomist Greg Phillips. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next lawn care video.